Welcome to another episode of the I Am Undeniable podcast. I'm your host, Alex Sundar, and I'm here to drop some major fucking bombs and perspective on how to become unbreakable in your mind, body, and soul. In today's episode, I got one of my rock star clients, my boy, Cameron, who has lost 40 pounds of body fat in 16 weeks and got a six pack. Now, the cool news about Cameron is that he's actually been in all of our programs, from our health fitness coaching program, seeing tremendous success, almost graduating our master level program, our ascension program, to work on his internal self, which we might dive a little bit deep into here today. But I want to introduce you to the man himself. Now, I would introduce him to all of you on this podcast, but I feel like the Cameron now, the Cameron who's transformed to the fucking man that he is today, would do a way better job of introducing who the fuck he is to the world. So, Cameron, what's up, man? Introduce yourself to the room.
So I'm Cameron. I am a different Cameron than 2 years ago, for sure. I'm a Cameron that looks in a mirror and is proud of his progress, where 2 years ago I was fighting with not only myself, but my partner about it. I'm a leader amongst people that I love and cherish. I'm a leader amongst my friends. I'm a leader in the community we're in. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that every single day. And I wouldn't, it was just weight loss for me. And I've gotten tenfold that. So I'm ready to share my story and shed some light on the transformation. So thank you, Alex.
I love that, dude. It's kind of funny how we met too, right? It's like we met. I don't remember the exact year. Maybe it was 2 years ago, something like that. Maybe two, maybe three. I don't know. Cameron's been with me for a while, and I would like to I think our connection goes beyond a coach and client relationship. I would say Cameron's a really good friend and my boy as well. And how did we meet, Cameron? I know you were referred to me. I think it's your cousin Kim, and Kim was actually a trainer at the Good Life company that I actually used to do coaching, personal training, mentorship, and management at. So I knew her from there. And I remember her messaged me saying she has this client that is looking for a male coach and that she couldn't help you, but she wanted to give you to someone who was a complete savage, which is me. So to tell them that story, man, how did we meet?
No. It was funny. It was good because I reached out. I'm like, hey, I have body image issues. I need to lose some weight. I just wanted to get better. So I reached out to my cousin, not my cousin. It was my ex's cousin at the time. And I was like, hey, you do weight loss transformations and stuff. And she's like, no, my niche is girls. That's my lane. I'm sticking in it, whatever. And she's like, but I might know somebody. So she got back to me in 2 days. And she's a pretty bubbly, wonderful person. And when she was like, don't fuck this up for me, I'm going to send you someone that I know that's going to change. But don't fuck this up. So there was a certain level of not pressure, but I guess it was this isn't just some ordinary dude. He's gonna get you what you want. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'll see what he's about, right? And then I don't know, you were not as intense as how Kim kind of framed you, I guess. But you were like, yeah, write down how you're I think the first time we talked was all I want you to do is write out what you eat every day. That's all you got to do. And I was like, that's not extreme at all. And you're like, just do it. We'll talk again in 2 weeks or whatever. And so I came back and I was really proud of it and stuff. And you were like, all right, are you ready to go all in on yourself? I was like, what the hell does that mean? Pardon my language, but what the heck does that mean? Right. And you were like, if you commit to me, if you commit to everything I say, every detail, I promise that'll give you everything you need and want, right? And I was like, well, if that doesn't spell intense, I don't know what is. Right? But I'm a pretty that's kind of how I play life, right? That's all. It's like if I'm in, like I'll show up. Like I'm a throw down kind of guy. So I was like, fine, all right, I'll say like if you're in, I'm in, right? And that was kind of like the intensity, the energy that we came into the program with, and yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a ride.
And it's funny, I tell this to everyone that I work with. And I'm like, if you follow exactly what I tell you to a T, I can guarantee you're going to get everything you're fucking looking for and more. I promise that every time. Because like everything I do is based on science, man. Like the math doesn't lie. It just doesn't lie, right? And I think like, well, you've experienced this, right? I got a very different fucking perspective on things.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell people about that because it hasn't been a couple of years since we first started. Like, what was that initial first month like for you? I know when we were on the phone call, it was a bit of a nerve-wracking conversation for you. You were like, fuck, I'm going to go all in. But how was that first month of coaching for you? Because you came from a place of like a bit of disordered eating and body image issues, right? So tell the audience about that.
Okay. So I guess I'll start with like kind of like the coaching aspect, and then I'll move to like how like internal
sure
like built. So like the coaching aspect was like there was a blueprint. It was really nice. It was like streamlined. Like we learned about macros. We learned about like what different foods kind of like fit into all of your macros and stuff. And I came from being a chef. So like protein, carbs, fat, cool. But I knew kind of like how they were segregated, but like playing to like where they fuel your body and how that works and stuff made it super simple for me, right? Like I already kind of looked at food as fuel, but like actually knowing why we have fat, actually knowing why we have protein, actually knowing why we have carbs are all like kind of like misleading out there in the world, right? So like taking that uncertainty, because I thought I knew, I fucking didn't know anything. Plain and simple, I didn't freaking know, right? To being like, okay, so these are the tools that I have now, right? Okay, so how am I going to structure my life around that? And that was really cool. Now, body dysmorphia, right? So when you take your shirt off, you feel a certain level of guilt or unworthiness, not like I didn't like curves on me personally, so I definitely didn't like that. So having some sort of like control specifically for me was like getting a tool to be like, well, if you do these things, this thing will disappear, right? So it's not like it never went away, but it was like in the first month, I think it was like, well, I was scared of touching like sweets, and like mine was like cinnamon buns. I fucking love cinnamon buns.
Yeah.
And first 30 days, I was like, man, I'm craving it. And you were like, do it. Do you know how like how much I don't need validation, but like, do you know how nice it was to have someone be like, yeah, it's not going to kill you, but you have to say, like, there was accountability in it, right? And it was like, okay, you can have a fucking cinnamon bun, but that means you get to eat less. And like to have someone validate that, understand it, and then like see it, like, because like the cinnamon bun isn't the thing that's messing your stuff up. It's understanding that you're going to be hungry after it. You're going to be more hungry, right? Like that was the thing, right? Like, okay, I don't know how much cinnamon bun is, but let's say it's 300 calories. Well, that's 300 calories in a caloric deficit that I can't have anymore, right?
Yeah.
So like after a cinnamon bun, I'm starving for the rest of whatever amount of time that is. So to have someone in your corner be like, yeah, sure, you could have it, But there's consequences to it, right? And understanding that like I can have that same 300 calories, but like 5 bowls of brown rice is way more appealing. Not specifically, but like you know what I mean. Like if I have like 8 cups of cabbage, it translates to the same calories, but you're full for like 8 or like 6 hours, right? So like that perspective change, like yeah, cookies are awesome.
Mhm.
Cinnamon buns are awesome, but like I wanted to feel full on my weight loss, right? And that was the cool thing. And taking those tools on top of everything else, like I would leverage protein at the end of my night, so I didn't have any cravings till the morning. Like that's
Mhm.
crazy. That's crazy information, right? Like I don't know. Like it's not even like a month, like 6 months. It was like there was so much clarity in like what I was eating to like the work I had to do. Like, cause like another thing in like working out is like your body hurts. But I learned real quick that if you don't feed it properly, it's like agonizing. Like it's horrible. And like that's what people associate it with. Like, oh man, I don't want to go back because I can't lift my arms. Well, you can't lift your arms because you're probably not getting enough protein, right? Like you're not fueling your body, or like you're not consuming enough carbs to fill it so you can go back and keep crushing it, right?
Mhm.
That's insane, because again, I came from a place of like I used to work out. I wasn't getting anywhere, but I used to work out. Like I used to eat well or good or even healthy, right? And I had a misconception of like, oh, this thing is what's like putting me back. And in reality, it was like, no, man, you can have it, but you need to understand what it does, right? And
Mhm.
that is what people are missing. Realistically, like it's like understanding your like perspective and understanding go hand in hand, right? Like if you don't know what the tools do to get you the result, like it's like I don't know, trying to write a word without having all the like having the rest of the alphabet, right? So like I thought I understood, and you were like, well, did you know this? I was like, well, I've never heard that or even realized that, right? So like clarity is super important on like a journey like losing weight. So
I agree with you, and that's where a lot of people get misunderstood, because I think there's a lot of good information out there. There's always good and bad, right? But it's the application of the information that you're taking in, right? So it's like you probably heard some of the stuff that I was teaching you, but it's the way I applied it that is situational to your lifestyle that benefited you to get the result you're looking for. And I find like you said, you gave such a good example with the cinnamon buns and eating salad and not having carbs and feeling like shit, which is the truth. But
true.
it's like it's application at the end of the day. Because if you don't understand the theory of how to apply it, it's like, yeah, it makes sense for me eating a calorie deficit. It makes sense for me that, yeah, I can have some of my favorite foods while losing body fat. But does it make sense for a lot of people that if you have this, there's a repercussion to potentially that you're going to feel like shit afterwards? And then you got to understand about your own cravings.
Right.
Like, I need to fulfill it, but I might feel like shit, which is a mind trip. So now it's like, okay, well, but protein does this, it does this. And it comes down to the point where cravings are just habit. And a lot of it is nutritional deficiencies. And you've experienced that throughout your training because you got really good results with the flexible dieting methods, with the macros, which is understanding what's in your food and developing training. So you mentioned you want to split into 2 parts. So what's the second part that you got? You got that out of your first month, but what about now? Where was the mindset shift for you?
I don't know if it was a mindset shift, but it
Yeah.
was more like going from like um so my story is how this all transpired was my partner gave me a compliment, right? And she said that I looked good, right? And we had a fight. We had a pretty intense fight. And I was like, "No, man, I don't look good." And she's like, "Yeah, you do. You're looking fine." Because I was going to the gym And I was like, no, I don't. Right. And like it escalated. And that's where like why I seeked help. Right. Like I thought it was counseling that I needed. And I did do counseling as well, but that's where it started. And I don't know if I think when I hit my like when we did it the first time around, it was more or less I actually achieved like looking better than I wanted to, like looking better and eating the foods that I wanted to, right? And like not being scared of the mirror, I guess, because like you have to take some sort of progress pick. You don't have to take it every day, but like that is what like grounds it all. That's uncomfortability, right? That's part of the process. Stepping on the scale, scariest thing ever. I sweat, like I still struggle with it, but I know I need to. I know I need to do it, right? And I'm in a different place, right? So
Yeah, it's like it's funny. Like a lot of people are like, "Fuck, I want to like change these habits, change my viewpoints on how I view things," but you're not gonna change it on your own.
no,
I think like a lot of people have to come down to terms with that. Do it on your own. You can, but like it'll take you probably 10 times as longer. Like I remember in the beginning for like the first like 16 weeks, dude, I was messaging you at 5 a.m. Like, let's fucking go. We're in the fucking gym. We're grinding it out. Right. And it's because like as a coach, it's my job to push you in the direction that you need in that moment. Right. So my question to you is like, cool. First year that we worked together, we lost 10 pounds, put on weight, bulked you up.
yeah.
Weirdly bulked you up. We put on a lot of size on your body. And then we recut down 40 pounds in 16 weeks. How did you feel about what you saw in the mirror then compared to where you first started?
There's a stigma about like tall people and like not being able to put on muscle. Like I look good and I'm proud of that. And like it was hard. It was hard some days. Eating so much. I think we were at 4K calories, something
4,500 or
yeah,
somewhere around that mark. Yeah.
crazy. And like I remember saying like my stomach hurts and you're like you got to do it. You gotta, right? And after we cut down, I was like, holy cow. There's a beast under there. Oh. And even like that's a different level of like it's not even motivation. It's like, holy cow. I got to see like what the year did, right? Like, and we're only we're just getting started, right? Like I
I
got
know we are literally just getting started. To think about your physique progress happen within a year like that is incredible. 100%. But that really shows your own dedication to the craft, your consistency. It's like if I could be consistent just for that year, what will happen if I do another year and another year after that? Well, I'll tell you what, Cameron has plans to step on the bodybuilding stage in the near future. That's what we're planning for.
coming for it.
Yeah, coming for, right? But like there's a lot of foundational stuff that kind of goes into this kind of stuff. So, we found out like your story, where you first started, the progress that you got. But what progress are you most proud of? Well, I know we said we're going to talk about ascension, but I think that deserves a separate podcast episode because it's a very special program. It's very close to my heart and what I've developed for that. But for you, for just fitness, let's just focus on fitness and how fucking sexy Cam looks. Right, looks great. Uh, what has that done for you, man? Like, what's changed in your day to day life for you?
I elevate people and not like
Mm,
like I have a standard, right? And
mm,
there is no like I'm not an I internally am a very very like I'm genuine, I'm kind, but I have a standard and like people
mm,
and like in specifically physique, like I push, like I will push everyone around me, whether they want to grow or not. I have people like that work with me that like there's just there's a bar that we sit at, and that's what I come to. There's a certain level of like love that I have for myself and the people around me, and I'm gonna keep growing. And if they're sticking around, they're coming with me, like whether that's in my work, whether that's in my friendship circle, right? Like that's beyond beyond fitness, right? But like I feel like I've stepped into like being a hardcore leader, and like I'm vulnerable in the group too, right? Like I'll tear up. That's but like being able to like, yeah, I got big arms, and I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'2", 6'2" or something like that. I got big arms. I didn't even know that was possible, right? And for me to like cry with someone and be like, man, I was there with you, like, right? Like there's people out there that can't look at themselves in the mirror, and I'm like, I'm there, right there with you. I'll give you a hug right now because I was there, and I know you can get through it because I did it.
I love that. And dude, man, yeah, the Cameron is fucking jacked. He is going to be bigger than me. I already foresee that. I already foresee it. No, for sure, dude. I 100% foresee it. You got the genetic potential to do it. Right? So proud of you, man. So, last question for you.
Sure.
For someone starting out in the start of their fitness journey, what did you wish if you were in the same position, if you saw a younger version of yourself? What is one piece of advice that you would tell that person?
It is ego holding you back. Like if I like, not just me, it like people going at trying to lose weight alone. It is ego holding you back. You don't know until you know, period. If I came from like right now and I talked to myself, there wouldn't be any uncertainty. I was uncertain because my ego said that I could do it by myself, and now trying to go at it with my partner, go at it through life alone, that was ego. And like sit with it, like actually sit with it and being like, can I do this, or do I need help? I needed help, right? And I own that every single day. And look at the results, right? Like I will never look back, honestly. Like Alex will have me for the rest of my life, I guarantee, and it will be the best decision you've ever made. I swear. I'm not biblical, but I would swear on freaking like in the court, right? Like I swear, like you will not. Yeah, it's the best decision you ever make. So,
well, guys, I hope you got a lot of value out of today's episode. If you did, comment. Let me know. All right, let me know so I can let fucking Cameron know. Like this guy has like, you guys don't understand like what he did on this podcast episode, the confidence, the way you fucking showed up. That wasn't Cameron when I first fucking met him. Transformation starts when you can go all in on your fitness. So, if you guys got value out of today's episode, what I would love for you to do is share this episode with a friend or family member. Share it with someone who could listen to Cam's story and be like, you know what? I think this person who Alex interviewed can give you perspective so you can start changing yourself and become on the fucking undeniable. All right, guys, it is for today's episode. We'll see you later.